Beautiful morning to you, sport fans, wherever you are. Good morning and welcome to today's edition of the program, Talk Sport, right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. This is Global TV, and this is what we do Monday to Friday. We bring to you stories that are making headlines in the world of sport. It is no longer news that the African Cup of Nations has come and gone. But what is news is that the Super Eagles of Nigeria are celebrating their goodies from the president, talking about our sport-loving president. There will be more today in the press conference where the Nigerian National League will be getting set for the resumption of activities after the long break in honor of the African Cup of Nations. Plus the Classic, and Abuja will be hosting the African Esport. These and many more stories will come your way, especially when Mr. Emmanuel Atta, the operating officer of the Nigerian National League, will be joining us live from the headquarters of the Nigerian NNL right here in Nigeria's capital city. Let's take a break. When we come back, there is more to talk about because the boys are still celebrating because they are number 2. Numero Day in the entire African continent. Welcome to Talk Sport, and I am Clayton saying bienvenue. Glad to have you back. If you're just joining us, the program is Talk Sport from Global TV right here in Nigeria's capital city this beautiful Thursday morning. Let's tell you that Team Super Eagles are still celebrating their victory in the African Cup of Nations. Although the team narrowly lost the trophy to host country Ivory Coast, the players who came into Abuja are still celebrating and have all been decorated by the president as MON, member of the Order of Niger. And the players are also celebrated because the presidency has also made 2 significant promises, which include a 4-bedroom flat and a plot of land in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. John Owen, Minister of Sport, who had a meeting with members of Team Super Eagles, also had a time to spend with Iwobi, consoling him that Nigeria are really in his support. It will be recalled that the player pulled out all his pictures on the social media concerning the Super Eagles in what he described as unfair treatment by a few of the fans who believe his performance in the final game between Nigeria and Ivory Coast was not the best of all. The minister told the player that he will go ahead and ensure that he comes back fully and participate in the Super Eagles as they get set for the qualifiers of the 2026 World Cup, which will be hosted in Morocco, which will be hosted in the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada. Nigeria has 2 points only in 2 matches, and they are expected to commence preparation for the championship. Let's see if Emmanuel Atta will be joining us live this morning to give us update on the ongoing preparation of the Nigeria National League resumption. They were yesterday in their board meeting, and of course we've got all the communique that came out yesterday in that meeting, and this morning we'll be seeing if we can get close to Emmanuel Atta, a former welfare officer of the Nigeria Football Federation. The last time Nigeria won the African Cup of Nations in faraway South Africa. Although he's not a member of the national team as we speak, but he is playing a vital role in the grassroots football development here in the country. Emmanuel Atta is the operating officer of the Nigeria NNL, which is the grassroots. Let's see if we have him on the line already.
Good morning.
A lovely morning to you, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you, Mr. Clinton. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let's go straight. You have the communique yesterday. This communique is coming after we all followed the development of the Super Eagles in the just concluded African Cup of Nations. You had a 5-point communique yesterday. Could you tell Nigeria what happened and where are we heading to as far as the National League is concerned, the NNL?
Thank you. Good morning once again. First of all, let me make a little correction. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National League. That is the NNL, and not the Chief Operating Officer. And also, when we won the Nations Cup in 2013, I was the team coordinator and not the welfare officer. Going back to your question, yes, yesterday, the Nigerian National League Board held a meeting to review the first stanzas of the league. It was a very successful meeting. Part of the communique was our excitement over the performance of the Super Eagles, ably led by the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau. We commended them for their performance, and also, most importantly, thanked the father of the nation, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFRN, for the gift of land, flats, and most importantly, national honors bestowed on our players and officials. It's a team of joy to see a president reacting as such, even though we did not win the cup. Thank you to the president, and the board appreciated him. Back to our league, you will recall there was a circular earlier on that the league will commence on the 17th of this month. But we had to do a rethink following calls from clubs, pleas from clubs, and to give them time to take care of some very important logistics as it affects them. They own the league, and of course, we have to listen to them. And during the board meeting yesterday, after a review of what transpired in the first stanza of the league, we decided, okay, to move the league forward by 2 weeks to allow the teams to properly prepare for the second stanza of the league. In looking at the first stanza, we are very excited that all went very well, with the exception of one unfortunate incident in Monofashi, and the club, Monofashi United, and those involved have been duly sanctioned, because this board will not tolerate indiscipline or any crowd misbehavior. We don't want to go to the past. We are also very happy with the officiating level. To a very great extent, it was a who suspects, because so many away matches were won on the road. There were draws on the road, and it has never happened in the Nigerian National League before. So we commend the match officials. Though there are some of them who are erring, who still want to go to the old ways. And I can tell the world today that they have been sanctioned, and they will not officiate our league matches again, those officials that are involved. And I will also commended the club owners for their cooperation with us. It has been an interesting relationship, and the first stanza went almost seamless. And in preparing for the second stanza, we are calling on the match officials who are the main arbiters to ensure fair play, to ensure equity and fair play. We want an open field. Let all things be given a fair play officiating. We are not ready to tolerate any unjust officiating. Any official that does that will definitely face the music. And to the clubs too, we also strongly advise them to ensure that there is no violence. Zero tolerance to any form of violence, either attack on match officials or the away team. There must be a level playing ground. Football is what unites us in this country. It is the opium of the people. We can see the reaction of all Nigerians during the Nations Cup competition. And we want to give our league a new lease of life. And as such, we'll call for the cooperation of every stakeholder involved in this mission to be up and doing. I want to assure Nigerians that our board is determined to give the best league ever organized by the Nigerian, best league ever organized by the Nigerian National League. There will be fair play, equity, justice. Only things that merit it that will qualify for the Super 8 to determine which things eventually make it to the Premier League. And those who unfortunately fall, we know that they have to go back to the drawing board and do their homework again. As a reminder, we have 4 conferences, A, B, C, and D. And out of these conferences, 2 teams from each conference will qualify for the Super 8, while 3 teams from each conference will be automatically relegated to the third tier of our league, that's the NLO. So we hope to see a very interesting, challenging competition. And we hope that we'll be able to provide players to our national teams, where the Flying Eagles, the Under-23, and even the Super Eagles. And this way I enjoy the national coaches to put an eye on the league. We are excited on the invitation of Wan Shola from Madiba FC to the Flying Eagles. We hope to see more of them in that regard. Thank you.
Your competition is that of the grassroots, but you look a little bit far from the grassroots in terms of marketing and sponsorship. What's your body doing to make sure that those of us at the grassroots truly follow what you are doing rather than the Western professional football, which is distracting us every day? What steps are you taking to make sure that Nigeria have a feel of the grassroots development which you are in charge?
Yeah, we are not resting on that, on sponsorship, especially as it will rub on the grassroots and those who follow grassroots football. Happily, you are part of it. And I know we discussed recently, we have gone to MTM to see how the Nigerian National League, the MTN and Global TV will all partner to have a weekly program which we call the Fan Base, where what is going on in the league will be made known to everybody. We expect the fans to participate in this weekly 30 minutes program, which of course will be anchored by Global TV. In this way, we are taking football to all levels to know what is going on in the Nigerian National League. And also, trying to get other sponsors, and we are appealing to them. It is exciting to know that we now have a sponsor, official match ball sponsor, that is a ProStar. They have pledged to provide footballs free of charge to all the clubs participating in the National League. We've had a full set of consignment to test run the balls, which have been distributed to some selected clubs. And I must tell you, these clubs are so excited. They say this is the best set of balls they have ever used. The rest of the ball they are in the high sea. By the end of the month, these balls will arrive at Nigeria, and then there will be the official unveiling, signing of the MOU with Costa, and then the balls distributed to the club. It will be an exciting time for the Nigerian National League. Very exciting time. I won't want to go into other sponsors. We are working. We are hopeful that it will be a success.
Today, everybody and the entire African celebrate one man, Victor Osimhen. An available record shows that Victor actually started in the Nigeria National League. Mr. Manuel, tell us the journey so far. The man we celebrate today as African Footballer of the Year, Victor Osimhen.
Yes, we are proud of Victor Osimhen. You can see the way he plays. It will show that, yes, he's really home-bred. Fantastic player. So happy for him. He gave all his all. And that is what we want to see from other players. All of them tried. And that's why we will keep on calling on the national team coaches to look inwards for these homegrown players. And that will be the future of Nigerian football. We need them. We need many more Victor Osimhen. And I can tell you there are so many of them in both the Premier League, the Nigerian National League, the NLO. You will see them. They are there. And we hope to also use, if the tripartite agreement between Global Coin, NNL, and MTN come to fruition, we hope to use that base to really propagate our homegrown players.
Of course, the management of Global TV are working very, very hard in the development of our own local football in the country. But Mr. Manuel, let's leave that and go to the African Cup of Nations. You won the African Cup of Nations in 2013, and there was so much of celebration for you from the villa, talking about the presidential villa. This team today came home with the second position, and there is so much celebration. Do you think if we won the cup, we would have gotten more than this, or are you satisfied with what that is coming from the villa to the team?
I must confess that the father of the nation, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, our own Jagabag, surpassed our imagination. And I don't think there could be anything. A team did not win the trophy, yet they are so celebrated. And that is a nation appreciating its own. And this should also reflect in our national life. These players gave their all, sacrificed for the country, even though they didn't get the main target, that is the trophy. Yet the nation celebrated them. And it should be so. We know these are hard times, but like the president always said, it will be well. It is our country. So we have to give our all to our country. And you pointed out that in 2013, when we won the Nations Cup, it was awesome. I think until the final day, that memory will continue to linger in those of us that were in that successful team. We were equally celebrated. The whole country celebrated us. People, in fact, for over 1 week, it was celebration in the country. And the government appreciated us. But one difference between our time and this period was that government gave monetary reward. I don't know, the situation of the country now. You don't always tell people you have given this amount or so. Probably behind the scene, government also gave monetary reward. Not being Oliver Twist, if they have not, we'll still call on our father, the president, to still look out for some monetary reward for this player. They deserve it. And in 2013, one sad episode, however, which the president, which in fact we are discussing it for the past 3 days, did was that nobody was segregated. All the players and officials were given land, were houses, and national honors. It is sad and disheartening to let you know and let the world know that those of us backroom staff who toil day and night, worked hard to ensure we won that cup in 2013. We are giving other rewards, but when it came to land being given, national being given, we were cut off. We knew that our names right from South Africa, because I saw the list that was sent to the ministry then, around 2013. I saw the names, all our names were there, including that of some of the NFF officials. But somebody, for reasons best known to him, now if we to copy the list and now took out our own names, it was a sad situation. Because right there in the villa, we are all warming up that today will be MON. Only I handled the list. The protocol lady then, can't remember her name, gave me the list to organize the player to sit down. Going through the list, I suddenly found out that our names have disappeared. It is sad. I met the then Senate President, Chief David Mark, and complained. He promised to take up the matter that everybody is supposed to be given that National Honors Award. But till today, nothing has been done in that regard. The money or whatever is given does not interest us, but this national award is once in a lifetime opportunity. We deserve it, but we are not given. And that's why we are so excited and so happy for this current set of backroom staff and the NFL officials who were so recognized by the father of the nation. And we hope that those of us that brought honor to the nation in 2013 will be remembered and justice done. Thank you.
I know that our sport-loving president, just as you rightly said, the Jagaban, if truly informed, and I'm sure he would do something. But is your team working closely with the ministry to ensure that now that the flame is still up, so that those of you who actually brought glory to the country when we won the African Cup of Nations in South Africa truly deserve to be honored? And if this has not been done, is your team doing anything possible to bring the attention of the present administration to that?
Yes, we started discussing to that effect. Definitely, we'll bring it to the attention of the Honorable Minister, who is equally a father, and I know that justice will be done. It might take time, but let it be done when we are still alive.
Emmanuel Letta, a man who saw it all when Nigeria won the African Cup of Nations. He was also there in the 2010 FIFA World Cup when Africa, for the first time, hosted the world. Let's come back now and look at the league is on break, perhaps because of the activities of the African Cup of Nations. Now that we are planning to resume, can you tell us exactly what will be happening today? You have a press conference today?
Yes, today at about 12 noon, we have a press conference, and the chairman of the league, Mr. George Allo, will parley with the gentlemen of the press and then unveil what our program will be. Just like I've earlier said, we will still emphasize on it and even go further.
There were some sanctions for some teams and players who didn't live up to expectation. Did we have such in the first standards? And are there measures to ensure that such ugly incidents don't come at the conclusion of this present standard?
Yes, definitely some teams were sanctioned for going against the rules of the league. Also, some officials were equally sanctioned, both officiating officials and club officials. It should serve as a lesson to others that we have zero tolerance for any act of indiscipline. And all teams, club officials are strongly advised to play by the rules.
Finally, Mr. Atta, let's look at, you talked about the coach involvement in getting some of these players to make up the national team. We are done with the African Cup of Nations. We'll have to wait for the next 24 months time. But the CHAN tournament is coming up, and you are responsible in building and enhancing these players and the country. Can you boast of a team that can fly the green, white, green at the CHAN tournament?
That's why in my earlier statement, I have enjoined the national team coaches to visit match venues where the NNL matches are being played. They will get quality players that will make this country proud. Because I've seen some of these players, they are good enough to play for this country, either in the Flying Eagles, the under-23, or even the CHAN Eagle. And some of them can also play for the main Super Eagles. Especially you go to the Premier League, so there's no question of saying we don't have players in Nigerian League. I don't buy that at all. We have players. All we need to do is to harness their talent and turn them to world champions. Leneke, the Super Eagles goalkeeper from Eyimba, who was at the AFCON competition, is a pride to the home-based players, to all the league players in Nigeria. And I'll still enjoy the coaching, not just to sit down, but to go and see these players practically in the different league venues. The Premier League will resume, I think, this weekend. It's an opportunity for them to go and scout. And when the Nigerian National League resume, they should also visit the match venues. They will see quality players. We have seen top quality teams in this league. I won't want to mention them before I'm accused of already deciding who and who will be in the Super 4. Sorry, Super 8. Thank you.
Okay, let me take you to Ivory Coast. At the beginning of the match, the first 45 minutes, it was celebration all over for Nigerians across the world. At what point do you think the trophy will no longer bound to come to Abuja, Mr. Emmanuel? At what point?
You know, well, based on the experience and before the finals, 2 weeks before the finals, I told some friends that I can foresee a Nigerian Cote d'Ivoire final. But I wouldn't want us to make Cote d'Ivoire in the final. They should be eliminated. That any other country will meet in the final. 100% the cup is coming home to Nigeria. But as God will do it, we found ourselves with Cote d'Ivoire in the final. You know, playing a desperate home team who rose from the dead to now find itself in the final at home in front of thousands of spectators. Millions of their countrymen are there rooting for them. There will be a lot of intimidation. The president of the country is there. I knew it was going to be difficult for the Super Eagles, but we are praying that God give us this day. And when we scored the first goal, it was a subdued joy. I said, well, let's hope we change our pattern of play from this defensive style and then be more offensive so as to keep the Ivorian team at the back foot. They will have two things doing, thinking of defending their goal and also attacking us, while we will only be thinking of scoring more goals. Because I believe that with that early goal, if we remain at the back foot, they will keep coming at us with the crowd roaring behind them. And then something happened in that Super Eagles game that they have never done. You find out that the Super Eagles in all their previous matches, they hardly contest the referee's decision. Whatever he blows, they just play on. But in this match, there were so many challenges on the referee's decision. Most of all, the gentle Osimhen, who, if you hit him, hacking, he doesn't react. But me seeing Osimhen, he's a human being, of course, reacting for the first time to a referee's decision and say, God, help us, let them not lose focus. Before the halftime, I quickly had to send a message to one of my friends who is on the bench. I wouldn't want to mention his name. That please find a way when they come to halftime, talk to these players. They should remain focused. That all that is being done, all this intimidation, is to distract them to lose focus. And also talk to the coach to just be calm. He has already been shown a yellow card. Let him be calm so that we remain focused that this is African football. But like we said, man proposes, God disposes. The will of God has been done. We now have to prepare to go and win that cup by the grace of God in Morocco 2025.
Let's look at the fans. The entire fans in the stadium was yellow, orange all through. And apart from the few supporters, what happened with the massive Nigerians in Ivory Coast? Were they not given ticket, or were they finding it actually difficult to access the stadium because the entire stadium was orange all through? Emmanuel Alta is a member of the Nigeria National League, joining us live this morning on the phone, taking a look at what happened in the 2023-24 African Cup of Nations, in which the Elephants of Ivory Coast ran away with a 2-1 win over the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He has been with us on phone to give us update, especially at the press conference which is coming up today as far as the grassroots football is concerned. The Nigeria National League has been on break as a result of the African Cup of Nations, and now that the African Cup of Nations is over, the team is set to commence preparation across the 4 conferences in the country, which includes Conference A, B, C, D, and Nigeria's capital city, which is in Conference C. It's also playing their own matches within these clubs are put into that event. There will be a massive press conference today to unveil the support the NLL have been getting to ensure we have the best of grassroots football in the country. Let's take a break. Let's see if we come back, we'll be going back to join him, or perhaps we'll go straight. But I'm glad to let you that Mr. Emmanuel is back on the line. Mr. Emmanuel, welcome back. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we will have more on the program Talk Sport right here on Global TV, Nigeria's capital city. Don't go away. Glad to have you back on the program Talk Sport right here, Global TV, Nigerian's capital city, Abuja. We are looking at the just concluded African Cup of Nations, in which the members of the Super Eagles of Nigeria are celebrating their victory. Although coming second after the championship, the players are in the mood of celebration because the government of the day has kept to its promises. And let's go straight to the NLL. Well, Mr. Emmanuel is giving us update as regard the resumption of activities, the beautiful game at the grassroots. Mr. Emmanuel, glad to have you back on the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was asking you that the entire stadium in Abidjan for the final match was all orange, apart from few officials of the Nigerian Supporters Club. Talking about the massive support for the Elephant, what happened with Nigerians who showed up in some of the matches but were not there on the final day? Was any home advantage kind of that in-house ball politics where you play some game to deprive certain supports?
You have said it all. Because we were surprised everywhere orange. You should expect that, but I don't think that is what football is all about. It should be about fair play. Those few Nigerian supporters that came, we are just lucky to be there. In fact, you could hardly pick them from the orange crowd. Nigerian supporters were frustrated, and they made it difficult for them to get into this stadium. And I hope that Africa will get out of this sort of behavior. You don't find that in Europe. And I think this is where CAF should step in. You should make available a particular number or a sitting position for the opposing team. In the Premier League, European Championship, you see away team supporters have their own sitting arrangement, and they are in their numbers. I don't think Africa should be different. I think what happened to the teaming Nigerian supporters who couldn't get into the stadium was rather unfortunate, and which this should not be encouraged. CAF should look into this situation.
We hope that the Confederation of African Football, CAF, will find time to look into this, because there were hundreds of Nigerians struggling at the gate, doing everything possible with their tickets, but were not given the permission to access their own team, because that also was a major challenge for the Super Eagles.
Yes, definitely. You know, when you play and you see your supporters, you are excited, you are motivated. And I rate Nigerian supporters as the best supporters club in the world. You see, the way they sing, their drum is like, it's spiritual. It sends something into you. We have experienced it. So we know the role of supporters, the roles of fans in motivating the team to lift up their level of play. I think CAF should look into this so that there will be no future occurrence.
CAF should look into this so that we do not experience this into the beautiful game of football in the country. Mr. Atta, let's come back again and this ugly incident with one of our players, Iwobi. What's your take on that? Because it has forced a player to take a decision, but I want to believe that with the intervention of His Excellency, our sport-loving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the assistance from the sport minister, the player will have a rethink to be part of the Super Eagles squad. But what will you say concerning those very, very unprofessional sportsmanship attack on him after the blast of the final whistle?
You see, I was really shocked with that attack on Iwobi. I thought we football followers or fans have gone beyond this. And I want to sincerely believe that those who did this evil, let me call it evil, I don't think they are football fans. It's rather unfortunate.
Poor network there with Mr. Emmanuel Atta. But we must comment the sport minister talking about Senator John Owen Eno, who personally had a one-on-one with Iwobi, the player of the Super Eagles, speaking to him, consoling him, and giving him words of encouragement that the entire Nigerian force is behind him. We say a big thank you to Senator John Owen Eno for that fatherly role, and we do hope that Iwobi will, of course, continue to progress as far as the game of football is concerned, and putting on the green, white, green is a big pride that every Nigerian look forward to. There were some pockets of unprofessional attitudes targeted towards him, and that didn't go down well, where the player personally pulled out all his pictures from his social media, trying to distance himself from the national team. But we hope that with the intervention of the federal government, he is back with the Super Eagles. The national team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, will be preparing for the Africa World Cup qualifier, which is expected to commence in 2 months' time. We hope that the Nigerian Football Federation and the coaching crew will put their differences and move forward. The program is midday. Of course, it's Talk Sport right here in Nigeria's capital city. I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Emmanuel Atta. I guess it's quite challenging for him as far as getting us back on the program. Okay. Mr. Emmanuel, are you still there with us? I want to say a very big thank you, and of course Global TV is giving you the assurance that we have the responsibility to identify with the development of football in the country. As a corporate organization, we will stand by you to see what we can do to cooperate and develop football in the country. Thank you very much for the assurance, and thank you very much for believing in the management of Global TV. That's the size of today's edition of the program, Talk Sport, right here on Global TV. This is what we do Monday to Friday. We bring to you stories that are making headlines in the world of sport. Until we come your way tomorrow for another interesting edition of the program, my name is Agua Clinton, and you asking you to enjoy the rest of the day.